Welcome for my part 2 of King Kong 2005. Now, guys, this is part 2, so I already gave you the whole spiel of how this works, how I can't show you the entire image here on the side. But don't worry, you'll be able to follow along with where I'm at by giving you time codes, and we stopped about halfway. This is the halfway mark, so I'll let you hear some sounds when I'm able to, and splitting up it into two parts is the best way to do it, because I can show you guys actually more. So, as we know from yesterday's episode, he's just kidnapped her, and, well, I guess not really. He's abducted her, and now she's just down to rest. The guys just had their big canyon chase there with the Brontosaurus, and let's get right back into King Kong 2005. And don't worry, I'll leave links to these parts in the cards above and in the description. Oops, that's this. Yeah, that's my first fumble. I just recently changed my hotkeys, so I gotta practice switching in between. Okay. You guys get it. So, Anne has just been taken by the big Kong. And now we get to see the real scope of her range, Naomi Watts' range. Because up till now she's been kind of like, well, the damsel in distress. And Peter Jackson does a great job here of kind of turning it on its head. So she's just trying to hide behind rocks from him. He's eating bamboo of some kind. So she's in a cavern. I would just stay inside the cavern. What's he going to do? I guess he can push her out with something, but... And we saw from yesterday that it is the giant silverback look for Kong in this version. And Andy Serkis did the motion capture for him. Andy Serkis, of course, is in the film as Lumpy. So, and I think he did the face too, I think. So today's going to be a fun show because we're not only going to be watching like the best parts. This is what people really wanted to see was Kong, and it took us an hour and a half to get to this point where we actually get our first real good looks at him, right? Okay, so there's not much. Okay, so she just pretended to fall down. There she is lying down. And I think, yeah, she tries to do some of her vaudeville acts here to try to entertain him. Maybe what she's trying to do is have him not get killed, right? She's trying to say, hey, maybe I can be like a play tool or something. But he smiles, he laughs. He takes the bait, right? One of the changes, I guess, in this version, they tried to take away that stigma of him taking her because he liked the way that she looked. She was more of that entertainment thing, an entertainment piece for him. So he's lost interest there. And I think that's what this scene is trying to do. And he has more fun in just pushing her over. Yeah, we see him doing ape-like things with that. Okay. See how my...
I said no!
So basically she stopped his finger there. So she stood her ground there. So he was trying to continue to push her over and probably until she was going to be dead. But it was an interesting choice by Jackson to put that in there. That this relationship between them is going to be a mutual thing. Now he got hit on the head by a rock because he was being a brute. So he's regained his calm. Not much is going on here. They're just looking back and forth with each other, trying to come to some kind of understanding as to what exactly their relationship is going to be. He scrolls over. Now, look at that thing that he's on there. That's a big stairway thing. So the island that they're on, Skull Island here, is definitely, they're saying that a civilization of some kind, other than the big dinosaurs that were on this island before. And it was brought up yesterday in the live chat that there was a... Okay, if everything on the island was big, then why didn't the humans grow big too then? Okay, so this is one of my favorite iconic scenes in all the King Kong stories. This one isn't as haunting. The log scene. There's always a log scene where they're crossing the log and Kong comes along and shakes them off. This one wasn't as horrifying, to me at least. Again, there's Hayes and Jimmy. And he says, "Let me go with you. It's not about being brave, Jimmy." Art Glasswaggy says, "I'd love this to be a trailer for the new Barbie movie." like in the aspects of it being her being in the toy. Yeah. I think that's the angle that they wanted. Like that's an interesting cinematography wise.
Go back!
So he's saying go back.
Back across the log!
Because he can see Kong coming towards them. And I don't know if it's just the combination of the log and the people standing on the log are CG. Of course, Hayes gets picked up here and he's going to die. But Hayes goes out like a boss here. No. He knows that.
Look at me.
Yeah. He's like, look at me. Because he knows that he's dead.
Do as I say.
And he just gets flung. Which is gotta be a... Oh. Yeah, and maybe it's because the log is CG that I didn't find this one as compelling, even though in the other versions it's visual effects too, and not the greatest visual effects. Like when we watched the 1976 version, it's laughable, but I found that one more menacing than this. And maybe it's because this log has a bunch more things to grab onto. Oh, Lumpy. Joy. So Choi just fell. I'll try to capture one of these guys falling. Um, and in the other versions, they didn't really have that many things to grab onto. So it was kind of like they were really trying to stay on the log. And this, the log falls down and then gets caught more on the cliffside itself. And they all fall down. And some of them are unscathed by that. So that log scene, not as impactful for me. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So now we get to see some more monsters. I think this is kind of a lizard of some kind. It's just feasting on a corpse. And she's trying to back away from it. But this leads into the T-Rex scene, which is definitely one of my favorite fight scenes. So now she's running from this thing. She goes into a log. And I think this is when we get to see that the T-Rex is there, right? Oh, yeah, that shot of it trying to crawl in the log and it kind of disintegrating the log. Yeah, so we've seen there that something got it, and it's just hanging there. And enter the centipede, or millipede, or something. And that one's definitely got to be poisonous. This is why I don't live in hot countries, guys. This is because you actually do get things like that. And its antenna goes in her mouth. Ugh. Yeah, no thanks. So she runs out. And this is our first look at the T-Rex. Now, in the 30s version, or whatever it was, there was only one T-Rex. So they tried to up the ante here of adding in more than one. And I definitely think that somewhere along the lines, there could be like a melding of all of the three versions into like a definitive version of King Kong. Maybe in another 10 years or so, we'll get another crack at this story. But like this has got to be a lot of people's favorite scenes. Just let you listen to the sound design. That's a beautiful shot of the dinosaurs and the monsters. Obviously, they can't use the same sound effects as Jurassic Park, but hey. And I like this, how she's just lying on the ground, and then there's one just kind of like easing up. Like, no, that's creepy, man. Yeah, I like that sound. And in the theaters, this scene played out fantastic. Of course, Kong comes to the rescue. Great shot. Now, Kong actually gets bit here a couple of times, like quite a bit. And the other one comes out. Now we got a 2-on-1 scenario. So she tried to warn him. She tried to warn him there. And you see that he actually gets bit. Now, out of all of the three versions, this one definitely is the best fight, hands down. I mean, the giant snake, not so much, but at least in the other version, you know, for the age that it came out in the 30s, they really tried to have Kong face off against the dinosaur, and it was like stop motion, and it was it was just cool to see. Not to say that this isn't cool, but I mean, come on. Uh, this version had the advantage of the visual effects being on its side. Yeah, I like how he picked up that rock and just slammed it down. And now he's got her in his foot, so he's throwing her around. Like the storyboards, like storyboarding a scene like this is very key for a couple of reasons. Number one, the choreography of the fight. Okay, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And then for the secondary purpose of creating the pre-visuals for the visual effects team that has to animate all of this. But stunning. And I like that. He grabs the foot and is like, come here. Like the T-Rexes, when you think about it, they're kind of like the Ed 209s, right? They walk around on these 2 feet, but they're not really that mobile. They're not that agile. They fall off into the vines. I'd let you hear the sound here, but there's just lots of grunting, groaning, her screaming, and I like to save more of the audio clips for when people are talking. And because it is a live stream, I guess I can give you my little caveat here that if, whoops. I like how the one starts to swing towards him. I'll see if I can capture the sound of the clomping sound of the teeth coming down. So guys, if you're following along with your copy, that's about an hour and 47 minutes into the movie. Yeah, this is definitely by far the best fight scene in all of them. And this whole part of them on the vines falling down, great. Like, you just never thought it would go there. You thought they would just fight on land and he would kill one of them and that would be it. And it's married well. Here, the visual effects with her. There's that signature shot. Yeah. Now she realizes that she needs him for protection. So their relationship just changed her. Yeah, there's that change. And I like how she just kind of backs up underneath of his frame. He looks down at it and is like, okay, there's that understanding there. And then, of course, it's going to be on. Beautiful shot. Amazing. And now he's using his teeth on it. He just spit out a chunk of it. And he rips the jaws open. Smashes it down. Now, some people laughed at this, of him trying to put the mouth back together. But I think an actual animal like the gorilla may try to do that. I'm sure that was based on some kind of research. Now, this is an interesting thing that happens here. It looks like, okay, she's safe. And he walks on, and he kind of like stands there waiting to see if there's going to be any kind of other threats in the area. And I think he starts to walk away, almost giving the impression that he would let her go there. That it would be her decision to go with him from now on. He's kind of like, yeah, he does walk away there. And then she realizes, hey, this is hostile territory. I'm going to need his help to get out of here. So, and the difference there is that instead of carrying her in his hand, she now is going to be on the shoulder. Now we get the gross out scene. This grosses out a lot of people. And it's an interesting choice from the people who fell down from the log. And if you were going to try to cut down this movie to like 3 hours or 2.5 hours, this would be a scene that you would cut out. But I can understand. This is like Peter Jackson. This is like, I don't know if this was part of the original story, that there were going to be all these little bugs, well, not little bugs, but big bugs that would come out. But there's a shot here of Jack Black swinging around the gun like it's like a lightsaber, and somebody made a meme out of it where he actually does have a lightsaber. I'll try to make sure that you guys can see that part, because it is one of my favorite shots of this movie, of him swinging the gun around, trying to knock off the bugs. So he's realizing that Joy is dead. And of course, Andy Serkis gives us a performance, right? And that's what's so great about him. Body of Mr. Hayes. And the director, Jack Black, sees that his camera is in ruin. The film has been exposed. So all the footage has gone to waste. Yeah, that sucks. You can see that look on his face. And then the flare that they used goes out And now the bugs use that as a sign to attack. Now it looks like you got some oversized crickets. We know that there's spiders. And then there's those weird worm things that were in that movie with Treat Williams. What was it? These weird kind of parasites of some kind that do anti-Serkis in. Now, why would a cricket do that, though? Why would a cricket want to be on a... It is trying to munch on him. Maybe that's not a cricket. Maybe that's like a cockroach or something. But yeah, this part grossed out a lot of people. Yeah, so he starts hitting it there. Oh, we missed it. Yeah, that was one of my favorite shots. And you're just like, oh God, these bugs are coming out. The terror. But this scene really doesn't add on too much more of the movie. We know that the horror of the island is that there's these big creatures. We know that they climb out of the hole. If you cut this out, it would have cut, what, another 5-10 minutes? Who cares? Let's leave in the scene. And yeah, that's gross. The latches onto his head. Treat Williams, Deep Rising, yeah, that's what it was. Art Glass Vikings in the live chat says, yeah, because I think those were the things that they said, those worm things or whatever were coming off, had mouths like that, didn't it? So now Jimmy's using the gun to shoot the bugs off. And the soundtrack here, it's just a vocal thing. You hear them grunting and the gun going off. Yeah, but you guys, once those bullets are out and you see that you're surrounded, I mean, what do? There's ants. Like, you're going to get pulled apart, stabbed. And then they get rescued from above. And the Kyle Chandler action hero guy comes in, and he gets a little moment of redemption here, because he showed cowardice before, saying that he didn't want to go out searching for Anne anymore, and he's the one that's on the rope there, coming to the rescue. So again, we see stairs there, a triceratops there at the bottom. There's got to be something in the documentaries about how they design, why did they design the island to be like that. One of my favorite scenes from the 1930s version is what this scene was going to be like when he fights a pterodactyl here, but instead they use bats here, I think. And we get our first kind of moment of tenderness between them as she walks up to him on this cliffside, and the sky And he's hurt. She knows that he got bit. And she's beautiful. So they share a sunset together, right? And she tries to do some juggling to cheer him up. But he's hurt, so... Great color scheme. Yeah, the colors here. He's not as amused this time around. Beautiful shot. And it comes around. I think it shows the actual horizon. She says that it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And indeed, nature can be humbling at times. She touched right here. So I think they were trying to say that he understands like the body language too, because I don't think he does it here. He does it later on, and he just holds out his hand. And she sits.
Oh, thank God.
Don't thank God, thank Mr. Baxter.
So Baxter was the one that said, let's go back and get them.
I'm drying off my wings and trekking across the lid.
So they realize that Jack is on the other side. And they're imploring him to come back, but he wants to push on.
And the ape will be hard on his heels.
So he's pitching to the captain that, hey, if we get the ape, then we'll all be rich. But I like the change in his demeanor because the captain's kind of like laughing, but then you see in his face that live animal capture is what he does. And he appeals to his sensibilities. He's like, well, that's what my job is.
Look after yourself.
So now they're going to go back and set the trap to capture him. So the little bit of remorse there from Jack Black's character. He said, "I'm sorry" there as he went away, because he knows that he's using them as as the bait to get to the Kong. Okay, so they're just sleeping, and we hear the flapping of some bats. Now, I don't mind the fact that they were bats, but I like the majesty of seeing him face off with a big pterodactyl kind of thing. Of course, Peter Jackson has to show that kind of a shot. That's very signature Peter Jackson, to show us the face of the bat right in the up close. Okay, so we see that there's a skull there of what looks to be like another ape. So there was more of them on this island. And they're saying that he's the last one here? Maybe? So Jack's just traversing the rocks, climbing up to Anne. You see, you notice how in this part of the movie there's a lot more action, and in the first half it's a lot more dialogue, exposition heavy. But I like the interactions of the people a lot in the first half, and this part is much more like action, adventure, horror. Okay, so he's crawling up. Well, are they both asleep, or is Anne's asleep? Now she's awake. But she almost looks worried that he's there, right? It's like, okay, now what? Now what do we do? You're here. But if he sees you there, you're dead. So he's saying goodbye. Come on. Similar to Skull Island story, Kong is the last of his race, another great film. Yeah. I like Skull Island. So she's trying to move on the hand without waking him. But I think he just opens up an eye here, doesn't he? Or he just, yeah, okay, so he just opens up his eyes and is like... So he stamps the ground. They're in it, and then that wakes up the bats. And he bites the wing off one of the bats. Is that supposed to be a nod or something to Ozzy Osbourne? So he's being overcome by the bats.
It's okay. Anne, let's go. Let's go, come on.
So they move around to the outside of the cliff face. There's a vine there that looks like they can climb down. Although I don't know why she has to hold on to his back as they go down. Because he's got to be strong enough to hold her and climb down. That's a lot of upper body strength. You'd run out of gas so fast. And he's saying that he's trying to fend off the bats at the same time. Now that's creepy. When he starts pulling on the vine. And I think this happens in every movie, right? They have to jump off the cliff. Or a cliff of some kind. Or no, a bat picks them up. In this version. Okay, a bat picks them up. I forgot about that. So Kong's not happy about that. Yeah. So they fall not that far into the water. The bats brought them down. So now Kong will be hard on their heels. But I think they fall into the river in each iteration, so I guess they did that so that they said that there's always going to be that little distance between Kong and them, so that, you know, it's a little bit more realistic. Of course, the gate isn't always. You see, look, in this version, I like it better in some of the in the 76 version where, yeah, they ran all that distance. They would be out of gas by now. They would be gasping for air. And in the 70s version, like, it shows that. And I think I prefer Kong attacking the wall in the 70s version better than this version. He just kind of jumps up and gets on there. But I like this look. She's like, what's going on? And Jack Black has that look, that seriousness in his eyes there. She looks to see the chloroform. It's Baxter. Imagine being one of those guys. You know that there's this huge ape on the other side, and all you got are grappling hooks. Grappling hooks with ropes. Yeah, so him bursting through the wall there, it wasn't as epic as some of the other versions. For me, at least. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So he picks them up here and tosses them. Captain launches the first thing. Oh yeah, that was their plan. They were going to smash the glass below him and then make sure that he has the ropes and the netting that would pull him down, pull his face down on the chloroform. But the captain doesn't, like, he's trying. And she's mad now.
Gotta go.
Of course, you don't want to let Kong see her like that. Yeah. The scene of them getting, like, thrown up in the air. Yeah, so now they haul. Yeah, like, when they first come up to the wall in the ship, it was ominous. But like, the wall didn't really have that much more to do. Like, He just burst through it like it was nothing. At least in other versions, it was a big deal, the wall.
Don't be crazy. Come on.
I like how Jimmy's like, come on. I guess Jimmy wants a little bit of a revenge there for Hayes, right? You go squish now. Ooh. Yeah, she's saying go back.
Jimmy, no!
But Carl sees an opportunity here. Oh man, he just throws that ship against the wall. See if I can get her saying go back again here. Yeah.
Put him back!
So we got shot with a spear gun there. And there's another cool shot here that I like. I'll try to show it to you of Jack Black, the director character. When he's getting ready to throw, there's a nice tracking shot here I want to show.
No! No, please!
Yeah, that. Because that's a good marriage of visual effects and reality. So they really shot him standing there and him throwing it there. Beautiful. And of course he just got a big face full of it. And that's 2 hours and 15 minutes in, guys, if you needed a time check. 2 hours and 16. And he's reaching out to her. The chloroform's starting to take effect. She's upset. Now, this is something that this version kind of glosses over, is the boat ride back. I think they just show the boat once, and then all of a sudden they're just like that. They're in New York. And one of the things I liked about the 70s version is that they go into some of the politics behind bringing him back. How, they're under contracts to do all of this stuff because of Kong. And the Jack character really doesn't like it. They kind of gloss over that stuff in this version.
With all of you. In a few months, his name will be up in lights on Broadway. Eighth wonder of the world.
Oops. And just like that, we're in. Yeah, so there was no boat ride. They didn't even show that. And that was like the end of the captain, too, right? That's 2 hours and 18 minutes. Still about 40 minutes left in the show, guys. Which puts us on target there. That's good. Wow, that's been 40 minutes already? We've been watching this for 40. That's how fast this second half goes. Like once you get into the action and it breathes just like that. And I can see that perhaps that could be seen as a pacing issue. So she's getting ready to put on a show the opening night for Kong, and then you can see the hesitation in her. Like, do I really want to be doing this? And other versions explore that a little bit more. We'll learn about that. We'll talk about this a lot more after this show ends. The movie ends. I'll do my little review spiel here at the end. So there's taking pictures. There's that one producer that had doubts in him. But I like how he looks up here. He's got all the fame, and then his partner there. You can tell that his partner had lost faith in him, right? Because he sacrificed his crew to make this thing happen. Carl Denham, the director. Arglass says, such drama and sadness. It's all in the eyes of Adrien Brody and Naomi Watts. Yeah, they do a great job of selling this.
I got a winner back. Oh, really?
So we see that they're both back. So he's back in the theater, the place where he likes to be. And that's dialogue from the first half. They had that conversation on the boat. And they're just showing us the play that he wrote that she was supposed to be in. I'm guessing that the blonde here was supposed to be Anne, but it didn't turn out that way. So, I think the dialogue here is supposed to be important. Now he's realizing that they're about to put on this big show for Kong, and he's going to go to her. Cry Havoc as a comedy. So he changed it to be a comedy for her because she likes to make people laugh. Now, apparently, this scene here took quite a bit of time to shoot, because Jack Black kept forgetting his lines. I'll see if I can capture it here.
I'm here to tell you a very strange story.
Yeah, you can see that. Maybe that's why they're showing so many shots of the audience.
The beast was no match for the charms of a girl.
And that's a wig that he's got.
And lo, the beast looked upon the face of beauty.
Yeah. And word. Great shot. So this is the same kind of a reveal that they had in the 30s version. of him standing on the platform.
Kong, the eighth wonder of the world!
Oh, okay, so he's not standing on a platform this time, but he's got the same kind of chains on. So, yeah, and look at the look on his face. He knows that he's been enslaved in some way. Now, I think in each version here, they try to reenact that capture scene of him saving the girl. So he's saying that they're going to crank up the chains and they'll make him stand up. And the music here is pretty throwback to that 30s era style pomp fanfare.
Real life hero of the story.
Bruce Baxter. Yeah, so Kyle Chandler gets like another reprieve here. Of course, he's a showman, so he's gonna, he knows how to play into it, right? And this I think this has got to be like one of the hearts of the story, right?
Mystery left in this world, and we can all have a piece of it for the price of an admission ticket.
It's the cautionary tale of not to enslave all of wild creatures, kind of thing, right? Because some things, as bestial as they are, deserve to be out in the wild, like bears, tigers, and such.
Miss Andero.
So imagine this is opening night. Yeah, they try to reenact it in this one too. Try to string her up there like. Like the textures on them here are really good, like visual effects wise. So it's not her. It isn't her. And he's angry, right? Yeah, that's right. So she refused to do it. Now, in the other versions, she didn't. So they changed things up there. I forgot about that.
Flat.
She went back to dancing and doing stuff on her own. She didn't ask for Jack's help. So lots of people were strained in this. She was like a side dancer. And she could have been like the #1 show. And Peter Jackson's just using the look in her face to sell that, or to tell us that she's sad about the situation. Mixed with him. And that's a common thing. In each version, it was the cameras that upset him. And now that girl's really freaking out. Oh, yeah? He's saying...
Coming through.
And then, of course, Baxter's like, excuse me, fellas, coming through. He knows what's going to happen here. And as soon as that first one broke, I would have been out of there so fast, even though I probably wouldn't have been there in the first place. But hey, you got a giant ape, you can be at the first show. You got a giant shark, you can be at the first show. Not me. It's like, oh, that girl gets tossed. I think that happens in every version, right? The girl gets tossed. Ooh, he got crunched. And just like sweeping motions, destroying the theater. And yeah, I think this solidifies it, that all of this is rushed. Like the New York stuff is just, it's rushed because we sacrifice so much of it to tell the beginning part of the story, which is still one of my favorite parts for sure. But it's just in this version, I just feel like if they allowed time to elaborate a little bit more on the context as to what's going on here, because we missed the politics of all of this stuff that was going on in the background with the relationships. They just showed us that they weren't together. And now Kong is out. He's going to wreck shop. So he's just stumbling around here, trying to figure out where to go. And he's going after blonde-headed girls, thinking that Anne is one of them. And here's another blonde that's about to get it. You just heard thud there. Picks up another one. It's not her. Tosses her. And the thing about this New York scene, too, as cool as it is, okay, so they're breaking a tram car, which happens in, I think, all of them as well, except for maybe the 30s version. The tram scene in, like, the subway scene in, not the subway scene, but the train scene in the 70s version is much better than this one. Much more horrific, too. Because they actually built this huge model, and he's like beating down on it and breaking it apart, ripping open the lids and looking for the girl. And this just kind of happens just like that. It's done. Yeah, I can see what you mean about it being rushed, but doesn't the momentum naturally gather pace in the panic anyway? All politics and rational thought is placed by fear in motion. Well, that was the tactic that they were hoping for. So Jack is in a taxi. He's saying, look at me. You remember me. Yeah, you do. So now he's letting the trolley down. And he's backing up as Kong's coming after him. That was a good shot. See if they show it again. There's a shot of him driving with Kong coming after him. Yeah, see, they got an elevated train there. But I guess Kong isn't as big enough in this version and to be standing right next to it and start smashing it. No, I think in this scene in the 30s version, this is when he was starting to pick up people and chew on them, which was one of my favorite parts. He would like chew on them a little bit, tenderize them, and then spit them out, which I don't think he does in this version. Ooh. Get out of there, Jack. Get out of there. So he just punched the taxi that Jack is in. And I think he was hoping that Anne would be in there with him, but now that he sees that he's the only one in there, he relents. But of course, there she is. And he calms down. Is that? And you can see there that they care about each other, right? Like, as in for each other's safety. Timestamp 2 hours and 36 minutes. So we got about 25 minutes left. Of course, we got the hard scenes coming up next. And he's just picking her up. They're spending a lot of time of them just looking back and forth. She actually reached out to touch him there on the face. Okay, I think we do hear faint. Yeah, we do hear those sirens in the background. It's very faint though. And they go into a park here. And Peter Jackson gives us a little bit of a moment of some time to breathe. He steps out on the ice and starts slipping around. I'm guessing that on the island there, he would never have been exposed to ice. And he starts slipping around with her. It's yeah, just a moment of, oh, we're okay, we're okay. And it's a tactic to, as an audience, to put us at ease, and then things will just, how it changes on a moment like that. That is photographed beautifully. And the soundtrack here is very nice. And then the military comes. And just like that, it's over. Now they're climbing a building under construction here. Was this one of the buildings perhaps that they showed us at the very start of the movie? No, that was way higher. So eventually they make it their way to the Empire State Building. Beautiful. And that's something that else too gets lost in this version. Bittersweet moment, Our Glass Viking says she must know his escape sealed. She must know his escape sealed his fate. Yeah, she must know that. Exactly. She knows what's coming. But one thing that they try to do with the 70s version is that they try to put in some significance of the tower that he climbs. Towers in the other. Oh, that's going to be hard to watch. In the other version, that it reminded him of his home, and this one is just there, right? They don't go into that much in this version. Now, I hope to someday take a tour of this building, because they let you go up on the decks there along the outer rim there and walk around, right? I want to take a shot and add that to my Instagram someday. The sun's coming up. So we had sundown before, and now we got sunrise. And this time, he touches. That's right, he touches his chest looking at the... Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And I like the introduction of how the planes come in. I'll try to capture it here. They're looking at each other. Beautiful sunrise. And then you just see them. And in this version, I think the gunners don't care about her being there, right? I think I have to remember. I know that he sets her down, and she tries to get him to hold her, right, so that they won't shoot. Is it this version she does it too? Okay, so she does it in this version too. Because they won't shoot if they see that the girl's there, and that's a nice touch. And he pushes her away. And I think that's the only time he does it, though. There's one shot here when he gets finally to the top, and it's breathtaking. Ooh, that's a lot of glass, and that would have been glass back then. See if we can't get away with showing you this shot as long as I can. Yeah, that magnificent shot. Okay, so she's gonna climb up that ladder, put herself in harm's way. He just took one in the chest and realized how much it hurts. Come on, Kong, get him. Yeah, there you go. And that's something that you're missing in this version too. Is that Jack saw all of this stuff in the other version, and he was cheering him on. There comes Jack. Now, I want to know, like, it's still like 100 stories up, right? How long would the elevator take to get up there? 5 minutes? And she's climbing that ladder. That ladder, hey, it take. When I worked in the theater, I think we had a couple of ladders that went up like 60 feet. It takes a little bit longer than you'd think to climb the short distance. I think we get another nice shot. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Kind of like mosquitoes descending. So he just took one. I think he took one to the face there. And the elevator, or sorry, the ladder. That would be creepy. Yeah. And he sees that. He grabs her. Now in the 30s version, they made it seem like he was still imprisoning her, like they were trying to free her from him, right? But in the other two versions, it's played out just like this, that they've got a good relationship, and she's trying to save him, and he's trying to save her, and you said it right in the live chat there, Art Glass, that she knew this was going to happen, and I think Kong knew that this was going to happen too, right? Oh, yeah, that was a cool shot. Flings it around, epic. But we see that, yeah, he's hurt now. And I think he's just trying to say he wants her to leave. I think. There's 3 more. The music here is beautiful too. Yeah, see, he's only on the 5th floor. 50th floor. And Gunnar sees that she's standing there. That's it. But the 70s version is a lot more brutal, and it hurt. It stung a little bit more when he was getting shot, and she kept on trying to go out to him, but he kept on pushing her back. So he just took the whole bunch up the back, and I think this is brilliant, just to show, because we didn't get this in the other versions, of him trying to hold on, and they're face to face. And Naomi Watts does such a great job there. And the music. Silence. And that was handled. Like I had to fight myself back there, guys. I know you know what's happening, you know what's coming, but you still kind of get like you feel it. You get choked up, and I felt like out of all the falls, that one hurt. Because something that unintentionally happened with the 30s version is that you saw him fall off, but he hits the side going down, and that got laughs out of people. So that they couldn't have done that in this version. It kind of worked in the 70s version when he fell down on the top, and then he just kind of leans over and falls off, and then you just see him falling. But that one, I like the use of the music, how it was just silent. You just saw him fall in slow motion. You didn't hear him hit the ground in this version, which was brutal in the 70s. Was just oof. And people. Yeah, this drives it home that it's about, you know, we find these beautiful magical things in nature. We try to bring that back to our societies, and we ruin it. It's a cautionary tale, right?
What does it matter? It wasn't the airplanes.
No. No, it wasn't. See, that's wrong. That's wrong, though. That's not what killed him. That's what killed him in the other version, not this one. It was you moron. the director there. He ruined it. Yeah, and then it ends. Goes back to the classic theater-esque, directed by Peter Jackson. And that's King Kong 2005, guys. Yeah, even now, like talking about it, and like I was very good there. I didn't break out there, but like I was close. And it always does, because it's sad. It's a sad story. Yeah, it's a cautionary tale of sometimes we find things that are so beautiful, but we try to make it our own, and we end up ruining it. That's what that's about, right? King Kong. And I'm sorry if I kind of ruined your experience by talking about the other versions as well. I should have maybe focused more in on this version, but that's part 2 of King Kong. Great movie, great iteration. For the reasons that I said throughout the watch along here. Now, we are going to go back on Friday. We are going to watch this version. This is the 70s version, and we are going to be talking about that for sure. Now, this one is not on Netflix. This version here, Kong, by Jackson, is on Netflix. This one isn't, so this one may be harder for you guys to find. You will have to have your own copy of it. I'll try to, once again, show you as much as I can from it. But we're going to follow, it's along the same story beats, but this one spends a little bit more time setting up the New York stuff, setting up the relationships between her and Jack, who's played by Jeff Bridges, by the way, in this version. And really cool. And they go with the upright Kong in this version. And you'll see why I like the wall scene much better in this one. But like each one has its own values to it. And that's what I like about it. And I want to know your guys' in the comments section below. What were your favorite parts of this Kong? What worked for you? What didn't? Was it too long for you in the beginning? I hope you liked my first half commentary on that, which I'll leave linked in the cards and the description and comment section below, so you'll be able to watch both parts back to back. It's all up on the channel now, guys. We're going to continue on with full movie watch-alongs for sure. I've seen that Netflix also has Godzilla, so we might try to squeeze in Godzilla this week too. It's a busy week. Guys, if you don't know, on this channel, we do movie reviews, trailer reactions. We do movie news weekly, daily, 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. We go through all the big movie news headlines. This was today's slate, and I leave time codes for you guys. Hey, you're going to find something that you're going to like on this channel. We do horror movie news weekly on Saturdays, with a horror movie watch along as well. You're going to like it here on Mirror Domains. So if you like movies, I hope you find this channel great. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and that really helps me out a lot. That was King Kong 2005. Join us Friday for the 1970s version, and I'll try to squeak in maybe some. Yeah, we'll try to squeak in Godzilla. Maybe on Saturday we'll do Godzilla. Yeah, and then we'll lead up to Godzilla versus Kong. Ooh, I like the way that this is going. All right, guys, that's it. Leave a comment in the section, in the comment section, and I'll always try to get back to you. That's it. Join us tomorrow for movie news, 12 p.m. We're doing Moon Knight tomorrow as well, the finale, and Survivors on Thursday. Although that's topical. If you're watching this like a couple years from now, that's not relevant for you. Who knows? If you're watching this in a couple of years, are we still doing the daily live show? If I am, cool, man. I'll see you there. All right. Till next time.